Bitcoin just hit $50,000. It's been 776 days since the last time that it hit this threshold. So what now? See, this time is really different compared to the last time that it hit $50,000 in December of 2021. It hit it really quickly and then skyrocketed into the 60s, but then it came down pretty hard shortly thereafter that. Since then, we've been dipping all the way down into the teens and then gradually building its way back up. Bitcoin runs in cycles of about 4 years if you look back historically, and some of these patterns really start to rhyme a lot when you look at them. Now, everybody's looking for the same thing. They all want to know, well, when is Bitcoin going to hit 100,000, 250,000, $1 million? Well, I only give rock hard concrete advice to anybody. So I can say this about the Bitcoin price with 100% certainty, having been an investor in this since 2017, understanding the underlying technology, being invested in it and tracking it this entire time. The price point is anybody's guess. And if anybody tells you otherwise and gives you an exact number and a date to go along with it, they're full of crap. Unsubscribe immediately. Now, we can make educated guesses based off of historical data and trends that we've seen. The other thing that we can do is really look at why is it different hitting $50,000 this time than it was 2 years ago. Well, the past 2 years have been really busy in the crypto world. You had China that banned all of mining, which was a really big deal. And then while the blockchain technology itself has been secured, the exchanges have not been for various different reasons. So you've had a lot of crypto exchanges that have gone completely bankrupt and lost a lot of people money. And there's been other factors too, but probably one of the biggest headwinds that we have right now has to do with the absolute hypocrisy of the financial sector. It's really been funny. For years, the CEOs of these financial institutions like Schwab and Fidelity and JP Morgan and BlackRock have been talking about how Bitcoin is a scam, it's only used by criminals and yada yada, all the old tropes, right? Meanwhile, the last I checked, and in pretty much every single mob movie I've ever seen, I think the criminals are still using cash, right? So should we stop using cash too, or I'm confused? But anyway, forget all that. I digress. This is the point. The hypocrisy comes from the fact that they could not make money off of Bitcoin. Everyone in the financial sector just wants to make a profit. That's all they're really focused on, okay? They don't really care if it's a good investment or not. They invest in companies all the time that aren't a good company, but the stocks are going to do well in the short term, so they'll pump it and dump it. The really important lesson here is to pay attention to what the rich people do, not what the rich people say. They never hated Bitcoin to begin with. They hated the fact that they couldn't make money off of Bitcoin legally because the SEC hadn't approved it. So what they did is while they were saying that it was terrible, you shouldn't invest in it to keep the price down, then they went and got this thing called an ETF approved so it could be on the stock exchange. Well, once it was listed on the stock exchange, then they could take their investors' money and number one, they could invest in it. And then number two, they could charge fees for it as well. So now people can invest Roth IRA and 401k money into Bitcoin. And the banks and investment firms can all collect their hefty fees. So why am I talking about that? Why does any of this matter? Well, the reason that it matters is because the more money that is pumped into Bitcoin, the more that it will continue to go up. So now the fact that there are hundreds of billions of dollars through pensions and retirement funds that can now be invested into Bitcoin gives the opportunity for the price to go up a dramatically better chance at doing so. The other thing that this does is pretty much completely eliminates the chances that the government in the United States anyway is going to ban Bitcoin or trading any type of crypto to begin with. Why? Because we know politicians love making money on this stuff too and doing all their fun little insider trading. So they're not going to miss out on this cash cow. This is not investment advice. I am not trying to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But what I am saying is that anytime you're considering investing in something, don't do what the elites and the rich people all say you should do. Make sure that you focus on what they actually are doing and then copy that instead. And it doesn't matter whether or not you buy or don't buy Bitcoin. What matters is that you stay informed, you stay aware, and that you're seeking out opportunities to invest, whatever that may look like. But for me, I'll put about 10% of my money where my mouth is and bet that it's going to do pretty well on its way to the moon.